In today's video, I am going to be talking about silent basketball plays. Now, you're probably thinking, what in the world is a silent basketball play? These are plays that are not called by a point guard or a coach. They are initialized by a single pass or dribble handoff or something that happens on offense. They are initialized right away. So, for example, if I pass right, we set up a play on the left side, and we already know what that play is because we practiced it in practice. So let's get down, let's check this out. But really quickly, most of these plays are 5-out offenses because that is something that every single team is using today because of positionless basketball. So definitely go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense that is down in the description below. And if you're a basketball coach, make sure to go check out my complete guide to coaching youth basketball that is down in the description below as well. So this first play is very simple, and you do not call it at all. I personally call it staggered. However, we don't call it anything. It is initialized, and I'm talking about my U13 team. It is initialized by a single pass. So, for example, if player 1 and my point guard passes to the right side, we know from this pass that now there needs to be a pin down screen and then a staggered screen set roughly around the elbow. Once that staggered screen is set, we're going to have player 3 pop off and player 4 roll to the basket. The reason why this is so deadly because now player 5 has multiple different options. He has players 4 as well as player 3 as options to pass to. He can also pass to 3. And if he passes to 4, that's a layup. And if he passes to 3, that's a 3-point shot. Now, in the whole idea of if this, then that, if player 5 doesn't have anybody open, player 1 clears out, and player 4 continues to set that back screen for player 2, and player 2 cuts. He may be open. Now, if we go back, and let's say player 3 gets that ball, we would want player 4 to clear out to the opposite side, and player 1 to set that screen for player 3. Player 3 then uses that screen, and we now have a lot of different options. Because what is going to happen is because player 4 is clearing out, and because there's this screen and roll that is happening up top, a lot of times, if player 3 is aggressive and he attacks the paint, that's going to draw player 4, because that's just what happens, even though that's a mistake. Player 3 then kicks out to player 4 for a 3. If it doesn't pull player 4 over to guard player 3, then player 3 could score, or he can pass to player 1 who is rolling to the basket for that layup. And just think, this was all initialized without calling a single play, not calling, hey, guys, run number 1, guys, run number 2, guys, run number 3. You're not calling a single play. You're initializing it by the pass, which is a lot harder to be able to guard. It's a lot harder to be able to essentially game plan around. Because now, I'm going to tell you right now, a team is running the same play. Guys, run 3, guys, run 3, guys, run 3. Very simple. 5 or 6 times you run it, I'm going to make sure that my guys know exactly what that play does and how to guard it. For example, one of the teams that I used to be an assistant coach on ran a play called number 1. It was a double screen up top for the point guard, and the point guard would then be able to go to the basket. Very simple. And guess what? It was easy to guard after a while if we were playing against a really good team. Another play that is initialized without having to call a play is a play called what I like to call weave. Player 1 dribbles over to player 5. He does the dribble handoff. He's a screen. He rolls. Player 5 then dribbles off towards the point. Player 5 can look for player 1. If he's open, hit him up, layup. But let's say he's not open. Player 2 lifts. Player 1 fills out. Let's say player 5 doesn't do a dribble handoff over here. Let's say he passes left. As soon as that happens, pin down, staggered, 1 comes off. The exact same play that we just ran in play number 1 now is being ran as play number 2 because we did our initial dribble handoff, dribbled up top, passed to the left, initialized play number 1. Now, let's say, for example, that didn't happen. We did the dribble handoff, player 1 rolled. Let's say player 5 does the dribble handoff over here. Player 5 rolls, player 1 fills out. Player 3 dribbles up top, player 5 rolls to the basket. If he's open, hit him. If not, guess what? Player 4 lifts, player 5 fills out. If player 3 passes over to player 2, well, pin down, staggered, player 5 comes off. Goes straight into play number 1. Even though we were running a totally different play where we were running weave, they were doing dribble handoffs up top. As soon as that pass goes to the wing, staggered screen to the opposite side of the court. Now you're hopefully being able to see how hard this is to actually guard against, because now we've just ran 2 plays in one without even trying. The third play that I really like to run without even having to initialize it is having player 1 attack the paint. When that happens, player 5 needs to lift because the ball was attacked on his side. Player 5 lifts, and then player 1 kicks the ball out to player 3 if he doesn't have the scoring option. Now, if player 3 attacks this side, player 1 fills out baseline. If player 3 attacks baseline, player 1 fills out towards the wing. Now, this ball gets into the paint. Let's say we kick it out to player number 4. Well, we would have player 3 in that low post for a second. If player 4 was to attack middle, we would have player 2 fill up, player 3 then pop out. Player 1 would make sure to be above the free throw line extended. So now the offense looks like this. This would be a kick out. Player 1 attacks this way, player 4 fills out this way. 1 attacks this way, player 4 fills out that way. Very simple. And you can continue to run that play through as well. These are great plays that you can run without having to call a single play. You literally just look at your team, teach the team these plays. You can even break them down into smaller drills. And then when they get onto the court, they're not calling plays. They're just dribbling down court, setting up the offense, initialize. Dribble down court, dribble handoff, initialize. And there we go. You just continue to run it through. So make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book if you're looking for a great way to stop a lot of different offenses. But also make sure to go check out my 5-out complete guide, because that is going to break down a lot of different options in the 5-out that can be initialized without having to call a play either. And make sure to go check out my complete guide to coaching youth basketball. That's down in the description below as well. I'll see you guys again in my next video. I hope that this video has helped your team win more games.